Imagine this. You wake up in a world where everything is designed to keep you just comfortable enough, but never truly alive. Your phone buzzes with notifications before your eyes even adjust to the light. The news floods your mind with crises you can't solve. Ads whisper promises of happiness just one purchase away, and your social feed bombards you with curated lives that make yours feel inadequate. You drag yourself through the day, oscillating between distraction and exhaustion, wondering why, despite all the comforts of modern life, you feel an unshakable hollowness. You are not alone. This is not an accident. We live in the most technologically advanced, materially abundant era in human history, yet depression rates have skyrocketed. The World Health Organization now calls depression the leading cause of disability worldwide. How is it possible that we have more wealth, more convenience, more entertainment than ever before, and yet more despair? This is not a personal failing. This is by design. What if depression isn't just a chemical imbalance or a personal weakness, but a logical response to an insane world? What if modern society, with all its progress, has quietly engineered the very conditions that manufacture mental suffering on a mass scale? Think about it. We are the most connected generation in history, yet loneliness is an epidemic. We have infinite knowledge at our fingertips, yet attention spans are collapsing. We worship productivity and hustle, yet burnout is the new baseline. We are told to follow our passions, yet most work feels meaningless. This is not a coincidence. It is a symptom of something deeper. Human beings did not evolve for this. Our brains were shaped by survival in small tribes, face-to-face connection, and tangible struggles with immediate rewards. Now, we live in a world of abstract pressures, digital illusions, and endless comparison. Our biology hasn't caught up. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche warned, "Man is the sick animal." Unlike other creatures, we are cursed with self-awareness. We can question our existence, doubt our worth, and feel trapped in systems we didn't choose. Modern society exploits this vulnerability. It feeds us cheap dopamine instead of real purpose. It sells us solutions to problems it created. It keeps us just distracted enough to never ask the dangerous question. Is this all there is? You believe you are free, but how much of your life is dictated by invisible forces? Algorithms decide what you see, think, and desire. Corporate structures dictate how you spend your waking hours. Consumer culture teaches you that fulfillment is something to buy, not build. Even your suffering has been commodified. The self-help industry profits off your insecurity. Big Pharma thrives on your dependence. Social media mines your loneliness for engagement. You are not just depressed, you are profitable. This is not a call for despair. It is a call for awakening. Because once you see the machinery behind the curtain, you can no longer unsee it. And that is where true agency begins. But first, you must understand how this system works, how it rewires your brain, manipulates your desires, and convinces you that exhaustion is normal. Because the first step to breaking free is realizing you were never broken to begin with. You walk into a room and the lights flicker on automatically. You pick up your phone and it recognizes your face before you even think to unlock it. The world has been engineered to respond to you instantly, seamlessly, without friction. But there is a darker symmetry to this convenience. Just as technology anticipates your desires, something else is shaping them. Depression is not merely a malfunction of the brain. It is the collision between human nature and an inhuman system. To understand why modern life breeds despair, we must dissect the three silent architects of this crisis. 1. The attention economy's war on your mind. 2. The erosion of meaning in a hyper-rational world. 3. The spiritual bankruptcy of consumer culture. Let's peel them open. Imagine a team of engineers in Silicon Valley sits in a room armed with behavioral psychology textbooks, designing an app. Their goal? To make it irresistible, not useful, not enriching, irresistible. They know that intermittent rewards, random likes, unpredictable notifications trigger the same dopamine loops as slot machines. They know that infinite scroll exploits your brain's natural curiosity bias. They know that social validation is a primal need, hardwired by evolution, and they weaponize it. Neuroscientist Anna Lemke in Dopamine Nation reveals, we are all vulnerable to compulsive overconsumption because our brains did not evolve for the modern world. Every ping, every swipe, every auto-playing video is a micro-hit of stimulation, training your brain to crave distraction over depth. The result? A nervous system perpetually frazzled, an attention span in ruins, and a soul starved of sustained focus, the very thing required for fulfillment. Centuries before smartphones, Blaise Pascal observed, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Now, we have built a world where sitting quietly feels like torture, and we call this progress. For most of human history, survival was the ultimate meaning. Hunger, danger, and communal bonds gave life an urgency that left little room for existential doubt. But modernity has solved survival and left us adrift. Viktor Frankl, Auschwitz survivor and psychiatrist, wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, "The greatest danger of modern life is not stress, but emptiness. We have replaced gods with algorithms, rituals with routines, and rites of passage with career ladders. The result? A civilization drowning in comfort yet gasping for purpose. Nietzsche's prophecy. God is dead," he declared, not in triumph but in warning. When transcendent meaning collapses, what fills the void? Shopping, scrolling, self-optimization. The modern answer to nihilism is not philosophy, it is distraction by design. If you just buy this, achieve that, look like this, you'll finally be happy. But happiness, as Arthur Schopenhauer noted, is a negative state, the temporary absence of suffering. Consumer culture inverts this. It makes you crave more suffering, discontent, so you keep buying solutions. You are taught to blame yourself when the system fails you. If you're burned out, you're not resilient enough. If you're lonely, you're not social enough. If you're depressed, you're not positive enough. This is victim blaming disguised as empowerment. Carl Jung's unheeded warning. The modern man does not see that his rational materialism is a psychological defense, not against demons and darkness, but against his own inner void. We medicate, meditate, and self-help our way into numbness, because feeling the full weight of this emptiness would be unbearable. This is not a conspiracy. It is an emergent property of systems that prioritize profit over sanity, efficiency over humanity, and growth over depth. But here's what they don't tell you. Depression, in its darkest form, is not just a breakdown. It can be a wake-up call. A signal that something in this artificial life is fundamentally wrong. And that realization is the first spark of rebellion. You don't notice the air you breathe until it's poisoned. In the same way, the psychological toll of modern life has seeped into the deepest layers of human experience, rewiring how we love, work, create, and even think. This isn't just about feeling sad. It's about the slow, silent mutation of the human psyche under conditions it was never meant to endure. Let's pull back the veil. We have never been more connected and never more isolated. Studies show that despite social media's illusion of community, real-world friendships have plummeted. The average person today has half as many close confidants as someone in the 1980s. Why? Because digital connection is to real intimacy what fast food is to nourishment. It satisfies the immediate craving but starves the soul. Jean-Paul Sartre saw this coming. Hell is other people. But he didn't mean that people are hell. He meant that inauthentic relationships are. When interactions are reduced to likes, emojis, and performative personas, we stop knowing each other. And worse, we stop knowing ourselves. Dating apps turn romance into a shopping cart of options. Work-from-home culture erodes the last spaces of spontaneous human warmth. Even family dinners are interrupted by the glow of screens. We are social creatures living in a world that has made real socialization optional, and then wonders why we're depressed. The human brain evolved to wait, to hunt, to plant seeds and watch them grow. Now, we rage when a video buffers for 2 seconds. Attention spans have dropped below that of a goldfish, 8 seconds vs. 9. Why? Because the digital world operates on operant conditioning, the same psychological manipulation used to train lab rats. Every swipe, every notification, every viral clip reinforces the expectation of instant reward. Great art, deep thought, and meaningful work require boredom, the fertile void where ideas gestate. But boredom is now a relic. Writers can't draft a paragraph without checking their phones. Students can't study without switching tabs every 30 seconds. Musicians abandon albums for TikTok snippets. Aldous Huxley's forgotten warning: the soul of man under technological civilization will be starved for lack of silence. We have replaced depth with dopamine and wonder why everything feels hollow. Social media didn't just change how we communicate, it turned identity into a marketplace. Your worth is measured in followers. Your thoughts are reduced to content. Your emotions are data points for advertisers. Erving Goffman, the sociologist who studied social masks, would be horrified by Instagram. We no longer wear masks, we become them. The personal brand replaces the person. Authenticity is performative. Vulnerability is curated. The result? A generation that feels like imposters in their own lives. The Schopenhauerian nightmare. Man can do what he wills, but he cannot will what he wills. We think we're choosing our lives, but how much of our will is programmed by invisible forces? Modernity worships choice, but Barry Schwartz's paradox of choice proves more options don't mean more happiness, they mean more regret. Dating apps make commitment feel like settling. Streaming services leave us scrolling, never watching. Career paths splinter into endless what-ifs. Decision fatigue isn't just exhausting, it's existentially corrosive. When every path is open, no path feels right. Kierkegaard's unheeded wisdom: anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. We have more freedom than any generation in history, and yet we feel trapped. Psychologist Martin Seligman discovered that when creatures, rats, dogs, humans, are subjected to uncontrollable stress, they eventually stop trying to escape, even when escape is possible. Now apply this to modern life. You can't control the economy, so you grind mindlessly. You can't fix politics, so you tune out. You can't escape the algorithm, so you surrender. This is not depression. This is rational adaptation to an irrational world. These consequences are not accidents. They are the logical endpoints of a system that values engagement over sanity, growth over meaning, and efficiency over humanity. But here's what they don't tell you. Awareness is the first act of rebellion. Once you see the strings, you can't unsee them, and that is where the real story begins. There is a man sitting alone in a room. No phone, no screens, no distractions. He is doing nothing. And in that nothingness, he is committing an act of defiance. Because in a world that profits from your distraction, doing nothing is a radical act. In an economy that feeds on your insecurity, self-possession is sabotage. This is not self-help. This is counter-programming. Let's begin. Your brain is not a computer. It is an organism, one that thrives on depth, not fragmentation. Every time you split your focus, you don't just lose productivity, you lose pieces of yourself. Cal Newport's deep work reveals the ability to concentrate without distraction is becoming the rare skill of the 21st century. Why? Because the system depends on your fragmentation. How to fight back. Digital fasting. Start with 60 minutes of uninterrupted focus daily. No notifications, no tabs, no escape. The 30-second rule: before picking up your phone, pause. Ask, is this my choice or my conditioning? Single tasking as rebellion. Eat without watching. Walk without podcasts. Be here now. Nietzsche's antidote. One must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star. Your chaos is buried under noise. Silence will excavate it. Purpose is not found. It is built brick by brick through deliberate action. Viktor Frankl's core insight: life is not primarily a quest for pleasure or power, but a quest for meaning. How to fight back: the resistance journal. Each night write, what did I do today that resisted the default script? Micro rituals: light a candle before work, walk the same path daily. Sacredness lives in repetition. The 100-year test: ask, if I died today, what would I regret not doing? Then do that thing first. Absurdism as armor. Albert Camus taught us, the universe doesn't care about your meaning, that's your job. You've been trained to want endlessly, but never to make. Every ad, every algorithm, every influencer whispers, you are incomplete. How to fight back: the one rule: for every hour consumed, create for 30 minutes. Write, draw, build, even badly. Desire audits. Weekly ask, do I truly want this, or was I programmed to? Unfollow everything. Reset your feeds. Follow only what expands you, not what exploits you. Carl Jung's warning: the greatest tragedy of the family is the unlived lives of the parents. Don't let your life become another casualty of manufactured hunger. Modernity sells certainty, but true freedom lives in the unknown. John Keats coined negative capability: being in uncertainties, mysteries, doubts, without any irritable reaching after fact or reason. How to fight back: the I don't know practice. When anxious, say it aloud. I don't know, and that's okay. Scheduled worry: give doubts 10 minutes daily, then close the file. The anti-goal: spend one day a month without objectives. Wander, get lost. Schopenhauer's liberation: a man can do what he wants, but not want what he wants. Stop trying to control desire. Transcend it: this doesn't mean abandoning society, it means redefining your relationship to it. Monks preserved wisdom during the Dark Ages by retreating. Thoreau went to Walden to live deliberately. The Amish thrive by selectively adopting technology. How to fight back: the 80/20 purge. Identify the 20% of inputs causing 80% of your anxiety. Eliminate them. Analog zones. Designate spaces, bedroom, kitchen, as tech-free territories. The silent sabbatical: 1 day per quarter. No speaking, no media, no performance. Dostoevsky's prison revelation: the darker the night, the brighter the stars. Sometimes you must step back to see clearly. This is not about fixing yourself. It's about realizing you were never broken. The system is. And once you see that, truly see it, you become ungovernable. There is a secret hidden in plain sight. It is etched into the bones of every great philosophy, whispered in the darkest nights of the human soul, and proven by every life that has ever turned pain into power. Depression is not your enemy. It is your compass. Not a malfunction, but a message. Let's decode it, the truth no one wants to hear. Your depression is not a sign that you're failing at life, it's a sign that you're succeeding at seeing through it. Carl Jung's forbidden insight: there is no coming to consciousness without pain. The modern world is a collective hallucination. To wake up hurts. Your despair is the friction of a soul rubbing against the walls of an artificial reality. The choice no one gives you: you can numb it, or you can listen to it. Ancient wisdom in a modern crisis. Buddhism teaches that dukkha, suffering, is the doorway to enlightenment. Alchemists sought to turn lead, despair, into gold, wisdom. Nietzsche declared, you must have chaos within you to give birth to a dancing star. It strips away illusions. It burns down false identities. It asks in its merciless way, now that all your distractions have failed you, who are you really? Dostoevsky faced the firing squad before writing his masterpieces. Frankl found meaning in Auschwitz. Van Gogh painted his visions between breakdowns. Your lowest moment is not the end, it's the raw material of your rebirth. The toxic promise: society tells you happiness is the default state and depression is a glitch. The reality: happiness is fleeting. Meaning is eternal. Viktor Frankl's Auschwitz epiphany. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing: the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. How to alchemize your pain, the question that changes everything. What is this pain trying to teach me? The meaning inventory. List every crisis you've survived. Then write what it forced you to learn. The anti-affirmation. Instead of "I'm happy," try "I am awake." Carl Jung's greatest teaching. I'd rather be whole than good. Your depression contains everything you've been taught to disown. Your rage at injustice, your grief for what's been lost, your refusal to play pretend anymore. 1. Speak to your darkness. What part of me have you been protecting? 2. Write a letter from your pain. Let it speak its truth. 3. Thank it. Yes, thank it. It came to save you, not destroy you. Your depression is proof. You're not built for a world of shallow rewards your soul refuses to. Be commodified. You're supposed to feel alien in an alienating system. Kierkegaard's lifeline. The highest and most beautiful things in life are not to be heard about, nor read about, nor seen, but, if one will, are to be lived. This is your invitation. Stop trying to cure your depression. Use it. Stop fighting your darkness. Partner with it. Stop seeking light. Become the flame. When the night feels endless, remember, the dawn is not something that happens to you. It is something you become. Now, go. The world needs awakened souls more than it needs adjusted ones.